Hello and welcome to the Retro Game Gauntlet Reviewcast, where I play a randomly rolled video game for about a week, discuss its design to objectively decide what makes a game good. I'm your host Torsvik, and this week I played Jerry Boy for the Super Nintendo. Jerry Boy was a platformer developed by Game Freak and published by a Sony subdivision, Epic/Sony Records. This is only months after the announcement of the Super Disc that Sony began developing for Nintendo. Production of this game may have even been a direct deal between Sony and Nintendo to begin establishing a partnership. Also known as Smart Ball in the West, it suffers from the same extremifying of Western releases as Kirby and Mega Man. In Jerry Boy, you will be playing as a boy named Jerry. You and your brother, Tom, rule a peaceful countryside together. Jerry, however, is set to wed Emmy, and Tom grows jealous. Tom is approached by a wizard who strikes him a deal. If you expel Jerry, then you can rule this land for yourself. The wizard casts a spell, turning Jerry into a jelly. Jerry must traverse plains, cityscapes, rivers, deserts, the moon, heaven, seas, ice walls, and rivers again, to reclaim his love, Emmy. Jerry's new form doesn't leave him helpless though, as he can now stick to walls and, well, that's about all he can do. Jerry's an excellent example of a minimalist platformer. This is going to be an easy review, so let's get into the breakdown. As far as control design, Jerry Boy follows the Super Mario line of platforming. B jumps and Y begins a run, and naturally you can execute a running jump. Y also throws items that you have collected. There are several different kinds of ball that you can collect. We got regular balls, iron balls, seeds, and high jump. Regular balls are the most common and are thrown at enemies as weapons. Same for the iron ball, but it doesn't break and has a bit more weight to it. Seeds grow a plant that can be used as a platform to reach high areas, and the high jump increases your jump height for as long as you hold on to it. You may have noticed that, like Mario, run and attack is tied to the same button, giving you the effect in Mario where you toss out a flaccid fireball before you start running. That means if you want to do a running jump and need to escort a seed, you need to first juggle the seed before beginning your jump. By pressing down and up, you can stretch Jerry. This stretch acts as a higher risk close range attack. For movement, Jerry can stick to walls and ceilings and squeeze into pipes. The game is broken into a series of stages, each split between parts A and B, ending with a boss fight. Occasionally there will be short safe zones where you can listen to NPCs, and occasionally from them get hints and foreshadowing about the upcoming levels. In Stage 1, you are sent to the outskirts of a village on the edge of the kingdom. The village has been ravaged by a giant bird who also serves as the stage boss. Stage 2 is a cityscape. Here you will explore a mass of pipes until you reach the wilderness beyond, where you will fight a flock of birds that spawn fish in Master of Ceremonies Escher fashion. Third stage is a desert, ending in a fight against some kinda dust mech. Stage 4 drops you off on the moon, a short stage with a constellation boss. With a fall from grace, you will find yourself on the ocean floor, opening Stage 5. After being eaten and subsequently blown from a whale's blowhole, you will be dropped into the Antarctic Circle, putting you head-to-head with a penguino. Stage 6 takes place completely in the Antarctic. After navigating the ice caves, you'll find yourself face-to-face with a polar bear in a windstorm. You make your way back to civilization through rivers. With the help of some balloon elves, and after overtaking a giant fish, you will finally reach the castle. Stage 8 is different in that it has bosses at the end of each half. After busting through the chapel window, interrupting the wedding, you'll need to fight your brother Tom, who has been empowered by the wizard, transforming him into a gigantic slime. It's not enough to beat Tom, next you'll have to chase down the wizard to get your body back. After defeating the wizard, Jerry is reunited with Emmy, and Tom comes to apologize for his actions. Game summed up, let's move into the analysis. In some ways, Jerry Boy is one of the tougher games to critique. The game is good, with no major faults. It has some interesting mechanics, but nothing that I'm blown away by. I'll start with some of the inconsequential stuff. I really like the sprite work, especially the way people are designed. It's unsurprising that Ken Sugimori, the Pokemon guy, did the character design. I like the narrative given through stage transitions, and I like the juggling tech with the balls. For technical positives, I think it's best described by how minimal the flaws are. I always felt a little bit shaky when climbing walls and ceilings. I'm sure with some dedicated time, I would feel more comfortable, but there is more of a learning curve than should probably be necessary. You can't deal down attacks on slopes either, making slopes more dangerous than they probably should be. There's also this weird glitch where you can't do a running jump to the left for some reason. I'm guessing it was missed by the playtesters, and I never really noticed it in play, so it doesn't really come up. In my opinion, the biggest flaw of Jerry Boy is that it's just too short. I beat it in about 2.5 hours, and even if I had rented it, I might have been a bit disappointed by its length. Now, I only made one run through the game, and I do get the impression that there may be multiple routes, but that is just a guess. I would actually like to see this game given the Super Mario World treatment, with an extended game that has many worlds and hidden routes. It would be easy for me to get behind a sequel with the original dev team, something that could expand and clean up some of the mechanics. I feel this way with many lukewarm games. Imagine if the first Mega Man never got a sequel. I think the last game I had this opinion on was The Fireman. There may have been something in between, but that's the one that's coming to mind right now. This game rides the fence between 3 and 4, and I think for this one I'm going to lean more on the positive side and give this game a 4 on 5. But do keep in mind, this is a very weak 4 on 5. Anyway, I'll close this out with a shill. Go ahead and smash that approve button and thumb vote this video likewise. I post a poll every weekend to decide what game I'll play next on my Twitter. If you would like to see me play any of these Gauntlet games live, you can find me on Twitch. I want to throw some love out to my BitChute viewers. Make yourselves heard so I know where my stuff is picking up. Finally, if you're too much of a wiener to watch me live, I do have a second channel where I archive my VODs. Links for all this stuff will be in the description. Intro and outro is Totality by Fiverr.